Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you. Very nice to see so many people here tonight. We haven't had so many for ages, 17 of you, which in terms of fire alarms, we're not expecting any practices or anything this evening. So if we do hear the alarms going off, out that door into the car park, please, because we need to count you up. I'm Mike Johnston, Chairman of the Planning Committee. We're a full committee tonight. Sharon, Deputy Clerk, next to me, keeping an eye on me. And presumably you're here to be talking about one or two of the planning applications. The procedure is that you'll come up and sit here. If a group of you want to talk about a particular planning application, then perhaps it'd be easier to delegate one or two of you rather than all of you. 5 minutes maximum, because we have got about 20 odd applications to go through this evening, but that's the rule anyway. So, okay, we'll come to that in a minute. I sort of assume which planning applications you're going to be talking about, so I'll bring them up to the top of the agenda. After which, you're very welcome to leave and not have to sit here through us going on through the others. Welcome to you online as well, so nice of you to join us. Right, apologies for absence. I don't think we have any, so we're all okay about that. And declarations of interests. I have one in relation to application 17617 Charlton View. It's a small amendment on that application, but I do know the applicant. Does anyone else have a declaration of interest?
Yeah, hi Mike. Yes, it's 25p 1805 FUL, land off St Peter's Road, as I'm acquainted with some of the residents there.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Any other councillor? Any other? Okay, right. The minutes of the last meeting in September, which are here, where they are here. Are you happy to accept those as a record of that particular meeting? For those of you who were here, most of you were. Proposer, Martin, seconded, Mariam, all in favour of those minutes being approved? Thank you. Chair's report, one or two items here. Acknowledgement from NSC Health and Care Public Health Team, and in respect to the pharmaceutical needs assessment and the latest pharmacy closures, and the fact that Portishead Medical Group issued notice for Jute's Pharmacy to vacate the premises next to their surgery. I'm not sure as to whether anyone's been allocated that building. No updates, anyone? Notice from National Grid that they will be implementing two-way traffic lights between the 6th and the 24th of October, 24 hours a day along Sheepway. Construction work will be taking place between 7:30 and 5. Presumably that's where the power lines cross. Any idea what's going on there? No. Remedial works seem to be going on, but I'm not sure exactly what this relates to. Notice from NSC that Station Road, Portishead, not the Portbury one, from its junction with Cabstand to junction with the Beach Road East will be closed for asphalt preservation treatment from the 29th of September up to 5 days between 7 and 6 daily. Oh, through the night. Have they started anything there? No, not yet.
I haven't seen anything today.
No.
I could hear it at that time.
Oh, that's the main.
Probably.
Yes, yeah. 5 is NSC again. Road closure notice for Battery Lane opposite Tideways to number 73 on the 16th of October between 9:30 and 5 at Openreach, BT Openreach. 5.6, Bristol City Council is consulting on Metrobus I-point totems and how passengers use them to inform the procedure of a new procurement of a new contract, I beg your pardon. The consultation is open until the 7th of November, and there's a link there. And the 5.7 Portishead Railway Clock proposal. As you well know, this was brought up at planning in the last couple of months. Our MP has received a response from Peter Lord Hendy, who's the chairman of Network Rail, and the Minister of State for Rail, regarding the proposal put forward by Adam Steeds, who came to talk to us a couple of months ago, for the clock tower. He's unable to justify the funding, which we know is going to be about £250,000. Above that, already agreed for the project, which is 47.5 million as allocated by the DFT. He noted that the West of England Combined Authority, WECA, or the local district council could consider funding the clock tower. So anyway, that's something we can be discussing in the future. Right, public participation. So, who's going to kick off?
Your list first of all to see if there's anybody that registered to.
Yes, one or two of you have registered an interest to do so. Charmaine and Raju. Yes, would you like to make any comment about your application on Drake's Way? Yes. Yes.
Yes, just come to there and
Press the green button.
Say his name full, please.
Yes. Could you just tell us for the record and for the online who you are?
Yeah, I'm Raju Oaks, my wife Shamin.
Thank you.
Our application is 25P1881, 27 Drake's Way. This is an application to redo basically a landscaping application. It's a retrospective application because we were visited by the enforcement officer who basically said that there had been a complaint, and while they felt that there was nothing untoward, the case enforcement officer and the case officer, they felt it would be appropriate to do a planning application because the scope of the works might make that necessary. And also it would obviate the need for having a lawful development certificate later on, should it be approved. So basically we have, before we started the work, we had checked that every element of the work individually was under permitted development. But the enforcement officer felt that given the scale of the work, it might be necessary to seek planning permission. We had to start the work because basically we are on a hillside, our most properties in Portishead, and things were falling down on us, more or less. So we had to start the work, and they were integrated. So we couldn't start the work on the back garden, which is above us, without getting access from the front garden, which meant that the work in the front garden also had to be done at the same time. So that's the reason why we are seeking. Are there any questions you'd like me to answer?
Any questions from councillors? No, I think it was a very straightforward application, really.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, Lloyd. Oh,
Green one.
That's it.
that seems fairly straightforward to me. I can't.
Well,
I'd say an objection.
Yeah, we'll discuss it.
No.
Would you prefer doing that? Deal with them as we go through? Okay. You have the details in front of you, everyone? Right. Anyone see any issues? It's a small unit going up in the corner, very corner of the plot, which is L-shaped, and it's tucked up into the top corner. It's unlikely to be affecting those on the Admiral's Walk, I think, isn't it, above? Details of the unit are here. It's 2.25 high.
That's the one.
I'm looking at the wrong one.
That's 11 Drake.
Thank you.
1881.
I was getting confused for a second there.
Yeah. We've got two on Hillside as well, haven't we? Right. Come on, someone lead me into it. Where is it? Which one is
I
it?
was just going to suggest, Chairman, that I can propose a no objection so we can move on to the next one because I think nobody has an objection.
Shall I second that?
Yeah?
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think anyone's objected to it. Right. Thank you. Thank you. All in favour of?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, can I just say there's 5 comments online for the proposal, and there's just 1 neutral and 4 supporting.
Okay, thank you. Can I just make it known to you all that we are purely an advisory group here. the decision is made by the district council. Okay.
We pass on our comments to them so they've seen them. But then the
Yeah.
case officer in North Somerset will then decide on the application.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Right. Apologies for my error. And looking at our little list here, then Michael and Louise Cranny, are you wishing to speak on the? Okay. So tell us which application you're talking about.
St. Peter's Road Development 58.
Yeah, okay.
So, Mike, I'm going to
What's
leave.
your name as well, please?
Michael Parkin.
So, Mike, I'm going to leave the room for this one.
Pardon? Oh, okay.
Sharon, can you just?
Go with your nod.
Michael Parkin.
One.
Yeah.
Okay. I assume you've all read the previous, like the objections that have been posted regarding this proposed development. I posted one myself. There's a few extra points I just want to ask if you're aware of. Problems, easements and restrictive covenants, which apply until 2049 regarding the plot, drainage access, maintenance of boundary walls, sewerage pipe connections. Have all these been taken into consideration as regards the potential construction site? Also, have the council received details of a temporary support system for the site, a construction management plan? There's no mention of a boundary fence between the proposed development and my property. There's no mention of, they've got a drive which has been placed right adjacent to mine, which is private property, so it must not be used for access to this development. I have a dropped pavement in front of my property, which is for my access only and is not suitable for anybody else to have access to this site. I mean, I've got some detailed stuff here as well, but these are like bullet points of the things that I want considered as regards any decision. For example, sewerage pipe connections. What sort of plans have been put in to this? Because I can't see any online with the actual detailed plans that have been put in. Would this necessitate digging up people's drives, gardens, etc.? Because the sewage pipes go from beyond the site, that be to the south side, and join through into the next cul-de-sac in St. Peter's Road.
Shall I?
Well, we're welcome to have a discussion about this. Yes, if you an ongoing one. Yeah.
I just wanted to raise a couple of issues around the way that things work.
Yeah.
So we are here as Portishead Town Council to give our opinion to North Somerset Council as to the merits of this plan from a planning perspective.
Yeah.
A number of the things that you're speaking about here to do with access, drainage, and everything else, that's not part of the planning process. That's not the part of the planning process that we're involved in. North Somerset, there will be no doubt a statement to do with the way that the work is carried out, but that will normally be done from North Somerset, not from us here. A number of things you mentioned also fall under building control. Maybe.
But are these things?
Maybe party wall agreements, that type of thing. So we are purely tasked with looking at the merits of the proposed building on that site and not the other bits around that.
Right.
So we can't take most of that. We can't take into account is what I'm trying to say.
So access to the site is not a concern of yours then? Is this what you're saying?
Well, access to the site will be maybe regulated by highways, but whether or not the building has merit on that site, whether and how they access the site are two different things.
Okay.
So
I mean, are these-
they may not have active. It's possible to give planning permission for a site that no one has access to. And then it becomes the problem of the person who owns the site to make sure they gain access before they do that. But that would not be part of this process.
So you're saying planning permission could be awarded without all of these problems being taken into account? Is that what you're saying? You're not.
Yes.
You
yeah,
are.
with a lot of things you mentioned there could well be will not be part of the decision making process.
Okay. So what are we here to ask you about?
Planning. So whether or not
What, the actual plan of the property?
whether or not planning law
Yeah.
allows that building to be built there,
Okay.
and the other more technical details around that will be worked out through building control and highways and everybody else and the drainage.
So the objections that have been put in then, they're all taken into consideration irrespective of what I just said.
Everything that's objected on the portal is looked at by the planning.
I mean, would it be easier for you to tell us what we can actually specifically want to discuss?
Well, we could get to that as we discuss the application. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think it's chance for somebody else to say, because there's a few people which have put in.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Especially about it being a designated play area and has been for 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did some investigation this afternoon in relation to that, and finding the evidence for it is difficult, isn't it? But we don't have a copy of the deeds, but you do. Okay. And in some respects, it's probably going to be easier for the officers down in North Somerset to be dealing with that when they come to make this final decision on this site. But anyway, we'll hear from.
Well, I got a photograph of the original deeds with it as a designated play area, right here. If you need to see it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You want to have a look?
Yeah, please. Yes, David.
I was just going to say that's a really important thing to send to North Somerset Council so they can see it. The kind of all the sort of regulatory things are dealt with by the North Somerset Council planners.
Okay.
So, and if you've identified some additional issues since you submitted your objections online, I'd suggest you submit more objections, but they'll take account of those in relation to the planning law.
Okay.
Just to further what Roger says, I guess the role of the Town Council Planning Committee, which is more is advisory, is to kind of look at the application in the context of our neighbourhood plan and in relation to our knowledge of Portishead and how things would fit there. So there's things you're mentioning about play parks and grandas, and that's the sort of thing that would be of interest to us. I think the technical is less so.
The footpath that runs past it was put there for safety of children walking to school as opposed to having to walk down the main road, and that's there on the plans. So obviously if this development went ahead, that would have to be closed for a considerable period of time. There's the photograph of it.
But it would remain open as a public right of way, though.
Yeah, but it does, it should do. Yes. Yeah.
But I mean, as we understand, I mean, the development here is what, 40 years old at least, I should think.
Oh yeah.
Peter seems to know
69.
Yeah, 69. And we understand that at some point there was a piece of play equipment on there, long since gone.
Yes, there was, but I mean, it's been used. I mean, we lived there 35 years. Been used for children playing there all the time, right outside our kitchen window. Playing football, my own children play. We got photographs of them from 30 years ago playing.
Peter, would you like to?
Yeah. Peter, District Councillor for that ward.
Could you, Peter? Hello, I'm afraid you need a mic, Pete.
Do I? Yeah.
Yes.
Right. District Councillor for this ward. I was aware. I've known this estate ever since it was built, and there was a play area laid out. I was made aware by one of the residents that it was up for sale. Checked with the council because there are some places built, particularly around Brampton Way, where there's been basically a balls up with the district council, and they never actually went through to registering the land as theirs. And I brought this one up with a horrible feeling this might be the same. And there is no evidence at North Somerset that the council have ever done anything with this land from the works point of view. So really, I find this a really awkward one, because I firmly believe it was laid out as a play area. I firmly believe it was a planning condition that it was laid out. The trouble is, those planning conditions will now be old Urban District Council or Somerset County Council, because it was well before local government reorganisation 74. And I think we're just going to have to make sure the officers dig that out. Now, whether they can actually find a microfiche reader to read those microfiche documents is going to be interesting. No, I was at school when this development started, sorry. But I have been aware of it for a very long time. And we've got two real problems here. One is, as Roger explained so eloquently, you don't need to own land or do anything to apply for planning permission. All these troubles come when you want to build it. And I still think there has to be some way of you locals registering your public use of this land. I don't know how you go about it. There was a very similar one happened in Nailsea earlier this year, which, again, somebody trying to renovate some old land the developer had walked away and left, and they sold that for building, and the district council have just agreed there's a footpath going through the middle of it. So somebody's bought it, but the footpath has been accepted by the Rights of Way Committee as a public footpath going through the middle of it, because they proved use for 20 years. Now, I'm quite prepared to stand up with any of you and say you've used it for 40 more.
Yeah.
But what bit of law you use to prove that, I don't know. I'm no lawyer. I mentioned it to the solicitor at North Somerset, and he drew my attention to the one at Nailsea. But I don't think the footpath one actually applies here.
Mr. Parkin, can I just ask you, as the neighbour, when you feel that it was last used as a play area?
Oh, only about a month ago.
Yeah.
I mean, with a piece of equipment on it.
Oh, no. It doesn't have, like, it used to have, I believe, in the very early years, I think it had something put on.
Yeah.
It's used as a football, cricket pitch, rounders, all sorts. Kids shoot, little kids. Children that's grown up through the years have always used it as a player, ride the bikes.
And the ownership of the land now, was that fairly recent transaction, to your knowledge?
Yes.
Yes.
Certainly. It went to, probably it was auctioned back in the summer, I think.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Mr. Jackson, I can remember you coming round, I don't know when it was, the bowling UK knocked on our door.
Yes.
And you asked, what is this area?
Yes.
And then it was player. You said, what would you like done with it? We've got a grandchild here, my daughter who's 40, played there. And we said, yes, we would like it, to perhaps exercise a bit more play area for a safe piece of land for them to play. As children grow up, my granddaughter's 6, and she goes out on a bike, it's safe. So, it is used.
Okay.
And it will be regulated.
Yeah.
All right.
Used it when they were growing up, they're now in their 20s. I haven't got a name for it, just shouting.
Yes. Do you wish to add further?
Take up 5 minutes. I just wanted to say that my children have, we have a name, please.
Yes, your name, please.
Oh, sorry. My name is Fiona Pugh, and we live opposite the play area. And my children have played there since they were. They played there when they were small, and they're now in their 20s. And we've lived there 35 years. And children used to play there before we had our children, so it's always been used as a play area.
Okay.
And I think my husband wanted to speak about more.
Can I just ask Councillor Marianne?
I guess because we've got such a large agenda to get through, I was going to suggest that there are enough objections online for me to propose an objection to this planning permission, if you would, and on the grounds that there are enough objections from the residents that they're not happy for this to go ahead.
I think it's more complex.
Yeah.
I think in view of the fact that there's, as we've heard, the issue in relation to the deeds and its designation as a piece of land for recreation, that it makes it difficult for us to make any formalised reason.
Just that one thing, Mike.
Please do.
I've contacted the planning officers on it, and I can assure everybody here it is not going to be an officer decision. I don't quite know how we're going to manage the debate, but if an officer is minded to approve the application, it's going to the Planning and Regulatory Committee. So
yeah,
you could put your case there at North Somerset, and if it goes that far, I'd be more than happy to go through details with you so we can make our best shot at getting it killed. But it's a really complicated one.
Yeah, but you wanted to speak about the technical thing.
Can we just have, yes, come forward. Name and I think we're coming to a conclusion here. So
yeah, my name's David Pugh. I'm obviously wife of Fiona. I live number 60, which is in the bottom, sort of left-hand corner. At the bottom of the cul-de-sac, there's a fire hydrant at the end of our drive, which serves the street. So, but I think for me, the other bit we haven't spoken about is the actual plans that are being put forward. It's being proposed as a 2-bedroomed accommodation, but there's 3 upstairs rooms. There's a garage downstairs, and actually the sizing, it is a very tight build for the size of the plot. I believe the plot width is about 11.5 meters, and the housing, the whole development, drive, garage, house is about 10.9 meters. That doesn't leave a lot of room for access and other things which Mike has previously raised. But, I question whether it's going to be a 2-bedroomed accommodation or a 3-bedroom accommodation. If it's 3-bedroom accommodation, it doesn't meet the minimum standards. So I think...
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, yeah, there's 3 bathrooms and 2 downstairs, and a toilet downstairs. There's a family. There's also a family bathroom. So why do you need a family bathroom if it's only, why do you need that number of bathrooms for that size of accommodation?
Right. Thank you.
Our boundary wall, our 2 houses boundary wall, and the back of the house, which literally will mean that anybody that's 6 foot tall can look from their patio doors at the back, which they propose, into our living area. All the time. I mean, I can see over the wall when I go around to the site because of the level that it's higher than our level of wall. So we're going to lose all privacy to all of our downstairs, our gardens, our upstairs, because Vellett's windows will be able to see into the upstairs, and we're just going to lose complete privacy altogether.
Okay, thank you.
Can we have the name of the house and the lady's name, please?
Yes, details, please, for our records. Claire Harvey, and yeah, I can see it here on this photo. And your details, please, as well. You spoke, so yes. Louise Cranley, thank you. Okay. Right. Councillors, are we minded to
Just think there are so many objections and they have
Yeah.
valid reasons for themselves.
so you're making that proposal?
Objection, yes.
Can I speak?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So, as has already been mentioned, this is quite an awkward one. From a planning perspective, there is very little wrong with a house in that plot. Let's forget for a second that that's a play area. If it wasn't a play area, there's very little wrong with the planning application. There are some concerns I've heard over loss of privacy, overlooking, maybe over development of a small site, but it from the plans it doesn't look that small, so maybe not too much mileage with that. But I think, as Peter's mentioned, the big issue here is the historic use as a play area, and that this land seems to have been for a great period of time amenity land, which unfortunately isn't strictly a planning issue. So, I mean, they could. They could deal with this, but this is going to have to go to the planning officers who are legal experts in planning law to see what they can do. And I would say that I'm quite happy for us to object to this on at least two grounds. One being the historic use as a play area and the fact that it was designed as amenity land. And if that's documented, then that's very good. And if it's not documented, then that's a real problem, isn't it? And then maybe overlooking of the neighbours would be a second one. So if you're proposing both of those, then I'm happy to second that.
Okay.
Actually, I apologise. Sorry. It's Fiona Pugh again from 60 St Peter's Road. But if you look at the measurements on the plans, and you have to, when you have a house, you have to build scaffolding and put footings round. Then if you, right from the edge, there isn't actually enough room for the drive. The drive would be 1.7 metres, which wouldn't fit a car on. So if it says it's parking for two vehicles, one in the garage and one in the drive, if the drive is only 1.7 metres and you can't fit a car on it, wouldn't that be a planning issue?
North Somerset has planning regulations. It's a 2-bed house as it stands. I think that's one car, isn't it? Right, Peter? Yeah. So yeah, no, I've seen there's two on there, but planning regulations say that a 2-bed house only needs one parking space.
But if one of the bedrooms is the same size, if they've got 3 bathrooms upstairs, and each bedroom is the same size, so that it says study, but the study is the same size as a bedroom, it could be used as a bedroom.
Yeah, David, do you want to come in on this?
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the third ground to reject this on, is that having looked at the plans, there are 3 bathrooms upstairs. Only 2 of the upstairs rooms are labelled as bedrooms. The third's labelled as a study. I mean, it's absolutely clear they don't want you to build a 3-bedroom house, and so they need to have parking that befits that, and they need to acknowledge that the study is actually going to be a bedroom. So my sense is that the plans are misleading in that. So I would say we should reject it on the grounds of uncertainty about the history of the park on the site, although the deeds I've seen clearly mark a proposal for a children's play park on it, on the grounds of misleading plans. It's going to be a 3-bedroom house and needs to have parking that fits in with that. Yes. And the third ground was overlooking, I think.
Okay. And what about if you measure it, the drive is only 1.7 metres wide?
Whatever the parking standards say.
The garage is showing at 2.3.
But if you measure the plot with a tape measure, we've measured the plot with a tape measure. If you then I've been waved off. Sorry.
It's showing the plan as 2.4 on that drive, but anyway, we've had the proposal and unseconded. All right, we understand.
So were we amending that proposal with
what the resolution is, please?
Are you able to?
No, because I've got a mixture.
So just to clarify what David was saying, we're proposing an objection on the grounds of overlooking and loss of privacy by the neighbours for the potential use of a 3-bedroom house and then needing 2 parking spaces, and the historic use of a play area, which has been proven by people on the deeds of the residents that they should look at going forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You want to second that, Roger?
Yeah. No, my seconding.
David did. David seconded. All in favour then? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We just hang on a second. Ask Tim to give Will and Rod to come back in.
Yes.
You just want to make sure everyone got what we just did there.
Yes. Are you clear as to what we just voted on the grounds of what you've heard in relation to the points? We objected to the proposal of the 2-bedroom stroke 3 on that plot, yes.
I can visually remember when we on the deed, it says clearly essential that area. There was a sign on the wall to that effect.
Right, which we've now seen evidence of from. Yeah. Okay. So as Peter said, it needs further investigation. Quite a lot of investigation. Yeah. So thank you for that, David. Did you want to footnote?
And it is also worth just reminding people that we are just an advisory group, but it helps having the town council behind you. The final decision rests with North Somerset Council and its experience officers.
Perhaps the chairman can come and address the North Somerset Planning Committee on this issue if the officers are minded to approve it.
Yeah, can do. Yeah.
Can I just ask you? You kindly showed us a copy of the deeds on your phone. Could you email a copy of that to the clerk?
Yeah.
So that we can include that in with our objection as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
All the deeds for the houses on that property adjoining that will show the same thing.
Yeah.
So could you all send a copy to?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So you're very welcome to leave if you wish. Before we move on to the next one. No, they're online. They're online, so.
Pop them into the office. Pop them into the office and we'll do that for you.
Thank you.
For those of you remaining, are you wishing to speak on any application? Please come to the mic. Tell us who you are and the paddock.
Yeah, I wrote quite a long speech. Might be a bit too long.
1788, land to the west of 43, the paddock. Change of use from householder bird watching cabin to guest overnight stay bird watching cabin. So this was given approval about 4 years ago.
In case I can't get through my whole speech, I wrote it out there for you. You can have copies for the secretary and things. Whatever.
Just tell us your name.
My name is Adrian Savage, and I live at the 43 the paddock.
You are the applicant.
Yeah. I come down here tonight because there've been lots of comments on the website, and many of these are completely untrue, and some of them are quite hurtful. So I came down tonight just to put my case if I can. Can I give them history into the property? Yeah. Well, basically, I bought the land about 7 years ago now. Part of it owned by the local builder, and part was left over from when the gardens were built. I got the deeds here. So the person online who was saying I haven't got the deeds, I've got the deeds here, which we can prove if we want to. So I own all the land involved. Basically, when I took the land over, it was very overgrown. It's a big mass of overgrown vegetation where no wildlife could live there. It was this end is more the St Mary's end. The other end, which goes up to more the Garson's end, is more woody and more open, and that's more wooded. that area, there was a badger set which no longer there. The holes are still there, but it's not used, and deer still getting there occasionally. Basically, the reason I bought this property, and I was beginning to use it and maintain it for the benefit of the wildlife, and then a number of years ago, I had a complaint from a neighbour saying that I was using it illegally. So the town council the parish, Somerset Council got involved, and they said to me I need to get full planning permission to use that land, and manage that land, which I did. As part of that approval, they said I'm allowed to build a wooden structure on it, which I applied for. And back in February 2022, it was all approved. So I approved to be able to manage the land and approved to build a wooden cabin there. The cabin was set up to have half of it as a bird hide and the other half as a wood store, workshop, and somewhere to make a cup of tea and sit down and enjoy the area. And this is how it has been for many years. I cleared out hundreds and hundreds of bottles, hundreds of needles, corrugated iron. I really improved the area. When I first got there, it was used as a drug den, drink den, and it really was quite a nasty place to live next to. One night I had some fires up in the woods. This was a number of years ago now, and I had to go up there and put out these fires. And I found a bunch of lads up there who were so high they could hardly talk and even walk, but I'd be lighting fires. So I went out there about 12 o'clock at night putting these fires out. That is when I thought I'd look into this, and I found who owned the land, and I found out the two companies that owned it, and I bought the land off them, and they're very happy for me to take responsibility for this area because they had no intention of doing so. So since then, I've been maintaining and looking after the area. And as far as I'm concerned, I've been improving the area greatly because it's not so overgrown now. There's footpaths in around there. Animals can move around there. I put a bird hide. I got a buzzard feeding station, which I've got a camera on. I got monitors for badgers and foxes. And yeah, the area is quite alive. I showed the chairman around the other day. He'd been out and had a look around. I'm happy to show anybody around. Anybody here can come and have a look around. And I put on the planning application comments that any of the neighbours who want to look around, they can come and look around. So I'm happy for anybody to look around out there. No one has come forward as yet. I think that, we've got a neighbour in here tonight, but once again, he hasn't come around to look at it, but he can by all means. So basically, this is how it was for kind of quite a number of years, about 3 or 4 years. I've been using it for bird watching and animal watching and just enjoying the area. And it wasn't until quite recently that someone suggested to me, why don't I make it into glamping pod, overnight stay pod. So I thought, what the hell? And what good idea. It means other people can use the area. And so I just thought I'd put the change of use permission in to see if I can get permission to use it for overnight stays. People seem to think it's going to be a big money-making situation, but it's not. It'll be for occasional use for short periods of the year, not all year. It's going to be limited access up there. People are going to be vetted. There'll be no groups of young people. There'll be no partying groups up there. It will literally be people who want to bird watch or wildlife watch. I'm hoping to encourage the badgers back to the area. I'm hoping to have a part of the hide to be used as a badger watch station. I thought it was quite a nice idea, quite a good scheme. I've been trying to find ways of letting other people use this area. I did put it on positive pages a while ago for anybody interested in bird watching to come up and have use the hide. And 2 people came up and spent an afternoon up there. I have mentioned to the scouts and people say if they want to interested to come and use the area. So I am trying to use the area for other people as well as wildlife. In my opinion, the wildlife has been increased considerably. I've got owls visiting, bats that come back. I've got hundreds of birds out there nowadays. And when people say they'd like to listen to the bird song, that's all down to me. I put bird feeders up galore. I've got nesting boxes galore. I have doubled the amount of birds up there. And this is why people who commented, oh, I love the bird song. Yes, that's what result of what I've been doing up there.
Adrian, in terms of the technicalities of people coming to visit and stay there, you're suggesting that users can use your house for amenity, and parking will also be there for
Yes,
any visitors.
it's based on an off-grid situation. There'll be no mains power or anything up there, no main sewer, water, anything up there. I have permission granted already for a log burner, solar panels, and a chemical toilet. But anything more than that, facilities would be at my house to make it a bit more pleasant for people to stay there. It's not going to be used all the time. It's just going to be almost a hobby for myself and Liz. It's just something for us to do when we retire. So we're not looking at the letting process would be done straight by us. No, it would be a letting agency. It won't be any company involved letting one out. So people would be ringing us up on a website and we say, yes, you can. No, you can't stay up there.
And how do you propose sort of advertising it?
Well, we'll set up a website offering the services up there, and if people are interested, they'll ring us and
word of mouth.
Talk to them. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you happy to take questions from anyone?
Yeah, obviously I'm a wildlife photographer. I live on Underwood, so I back straight onto the field there and Western Bigwood. I am concerned about the human impact. As you probably well aware, deer are quite fussy with humans, and they don't tend to stay around if they're disturbed.
Well, that's actually a good thing, because part of the planning application I had to reduce the amount of deer population up there, because I'm trying to plant new trees, because the ash dieback has taken most of the ashes out and the elms are dying. So I've been, as part of my wood thing, I got to plant trees.
Yeah,
and young trees don't go together.
Yeah, I can understand that, but obviously that's accumulated right across Western Bigwood, so it's not obviously just in your area. So the impact from humans is one thing. You say you're going to hold restrictions. I presume that's not having animals on site as well from the people that you're going to hire out your area with.
It's difficult because the area next to mine, they have 2 or 3 dogs running around all the time.
And just to obviously to give you an insight, I've lived in Underwood now for 15 years. I've dealt with 2 incidents of dogs attacking deers. So obviously that's quite an impact on myself. That, like I say, it's the human impact. Children obviously can be uncontrollable, which means that they can disturb the wildlife. So, like I say, to me, it's a lot of the human impact and the area that you're proposing.
But like I say about the vetting process, the type of people get out there won't have any children running around. There'll be people out there for the purpose of wildlife watching.
David.
And that's why it's going to be talked about, So if kids want to run around and play football out there, they're not the people we'll be using. If people want to bring a small toy dog, that's one thing. If they out there with all Satans, no, they can't. I got 2 dogs, so they'll like them anyway.
Thanks, Bob.
Can I just say, I went along and looked at the site from the footpath, and I couldn't see the hide. I saw some nice repair work that I guess you've done alongside the pathway to repair gaps in the walls. I went up and spoke to someone from the shooting club, which is just behind your property. They said since you've taken over that land, they've had reduced incidents of vandalism. So that's all been very beneficial. I've done
them this big favour, yeah.
But my concern is that it's the kind of you've got good intentions. You're not going to own this land forever. Whoever buys it from you subsequently, if permissions are granted for this extended use, there's a danger that there may be a stepwise incremental increase in use, and that will disturb wildlife. There'll be light pollution, so on and so forth. The challenge in my mind is that it's your land, so it's not public land, but it's your land that's on our neighbourhood plan as a local wildlife site and a nature reserve. So that's the difficulty I would imagine many of us are grappling with. You know,
Yeah, it's also-
doing good stuff.
yeah.
It's horrible to see some of the comments online. It's obviously
I know. I mean, it's very, very hurtful because the amount of work I've done on the area. I mean, if you live there what that time, you'll know what I've done.
Yeah, I'm aware of that, but obviously, you know, like I say, my house backs onto Underwood. I certainly haven't built anything out there, you know, and I'm there with my camera. The way I disguise myself to the deer is an umbrella with some branches on the top. So that's how simple it is. And my concern is this a point of like too much human interference with wildlife? That is my concern. It's a big concern for me. I see it every day. You know, I see people totally disregard the wildlife in the field right behind me.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I am very much wildlife oriented. I'm a farmer's boy, and I've always been that. And
Paul.
I've been managing this wood now for probably about 8 years now.
Yeah, can I just say, I think what you've done is fantastic. Yeah, and you should be complimented. And actually, what you've done, you've increased the wildlife. You know, you've taken, you know, a place that was derelict and desolate, and
It was, yes,
and turned it into something that's fantastic. So well done. And I'm very sorry I have to put up with all these negative comments, frankly. And hang on a sec. And so well done. I understand the issue about, okay, it might be at the thin end of the wedge, but at the end of the day, you could say that about anything. And if someone else comes along, they would have to and want to do something different, they would have to make a different planning application, which would then have to go through. So I think what you're looking to do is, you know, obviously thought about it a lot and you care about it a lot, and I'm fully supportive of it. So well done. Thank you.
I mean, one of the issues had been privacy, about looking in people's bedroom windows. I mean, there are such things as curtains, you know, and you know, it just seems a bit weird that is a big issue. And some of the houses on the paddock, they all got upstairs balconies, which look directly into the bedrooms of people opposite on the road. So how they? So you know, they're complaining about people looking from my balcony into their bedrooms, but they also have balconies looking into other people's bedrooms. So I think it's a bit ironic, basically.
Can I just say that? Yeah, I mean, that's so obviously overlooking is a planning consideration, but from what I gather, and Mike can confirm, I think it's well within the regulations, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so basically we are a planning advisory committee, and we obviously advise on the planning regulations, and as far as I understand it, what you're proposing is within those regulations.
A couple of other things I will show, and that's a picture of the aerial view of the woodland. That shows where the houses are and shows where the cabin is. And there's a huge big area of trees in between the cabin and the houses. And also, on this one here, it's one thing they talked about was the orientation of the cabin. It's angled away from the houses. It's pointed directly towards my house. So any view of the neighbours is actually at an angle because actually it aims directly on my house.
With the balcony, they can go on the balcony, live wherever they want.
Your wife wanted to add something. Okay.
Just to say that, you know, he's just so passionate about wildlife and the birds. So often we're up there, have a cup of coffee in the morning, we're sat up there bird watching. He's got, you know, clipboards up there with all the birds when he's seen them all in the summer. We've got butterfly charts. It looks like an RSPB little site in there. You know, he's passionate about his animals and his birds, and he's got a beautiful wildlife pond. We've got newts, we've got tadpoles. You know, we've got trail cameras set up there, and we were sat up there a couple of months ago, and a deer ran just in front of us. So you know, there are deer still there, and yeah, I just think it's something that.
Yeah, I can understand his personal passion, but this is a business passion, not a personal passion. That's my concern.
Can I have a proposal, please? I mean, Paul, I take it you've proposed this as a.
I propose no objection.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting to talk.
Is it possible for us to say anything?
Yeah. Sure. Thanks, Adrian. Yeah. Please come forward and say who you are and.
I'm 45. I'm Adrian's neighbour. My notes were on there, and I truly believe that, you know, the whole thing was set up from the start as a money-making sorry. Sorry. I think it was set up from day one as a money making exercise. It's a massive shed. It's almost like a single garage. It's not a hide. I agree with you. You know, you need like a tiny little hide to view wildlife.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Most times I take photography.
Can we hear, please?
Can you let me speak? Most times I take photography is with an umbrella and I just grab a load of grass and chuck it on top.
I agree.
I don't need anything else. And majority of people that take wildlife photography do the same thing.
Well, I'm still waiting to speak.
Carry on, please.
Thank you. I've been there 20 years, 21 years, and we used to see deer all the time. We don't see them now. Occasionally I hear an owl. The wildlife is gone. There's a big play area in front of in front of the shed down towards the right. There's a big swing there. There's a big seating area. That's nothing to do with wildlife. That's a glorified picnic area. And there has been a power lead put across the path for about 1.5 years, 2 years. So surely that can't be legal. A live lead when Adrian was doing the work, and it was live. I put a circuit test on it, and that was there for ages. And I don't think it's cleared away out there. It's not a wildlife area at all. I think it's is a glorified Airbnb come lodge to stay. And I think if Adrian gets planning permission on this, I think he'll just let it out to anybody just to make money. That's my opinion.
Okay, thank you.
That's the gentleman's surname.
Young, Richard Young.
Yeah.
Right, thank you.
Okay, no worries. Shall I go now?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks very much.
So, first of all, yeah, I agree. It looks like you've done some really good work in that area, and that is to be commended. It's been tidied up over the years, and that's great. I'm looking at the planning permission that you've already got there for the creation of a wildlife garden, the erection of a building for use as store, workshop, and hide in connection with the wildlife garden. And you got planning permission for that. That was good. That's fine. I see no issues with that. When it comes to people making money, that's not a planning consideration. So we're not going to.
I've never seen down there at all. Please.
And equally, the use or non-use of land by unauthorised persons on it is also not a planning consideration. So we won't be looking at that. Where I stand on this one, I think is I'm concerned that we are moving away from a store, workshop in a wildlife garden towards a dwelling. So we now have everything in there that you require for a house. Yep. And for me, that's a bit of a red line, because if we just grab a piece of wildlife land somewhere and say, yeah, you can build a house on it, regardless of how good your intentions are, that opens the floodgates for other people to start building houses in other areas, and suddenly our green areas are disappearing, aren't they? Because people are building houses all over the place. So we have a neighbourhood plan that tries to keep a certain balance within Portishead, and from a planning perspective, I think it's really important that we look at this and say, as it stands at the moment, not a problem, but to move to a dwelling, I think, is probably a step too far, and that's my feeling on it.
The state is what a wooden tent from dwelling. There'd be no services to it.
I understand what you're saying, but it has all of the characteristics of a dwelling, and that's the important part, I think, from a planning perspective.
Can I have anyone else wishing to speak? So we've got in front of us change of use from a householder birdwatching cabin to guest overnight stay birdwatching cabin. Do we have a proposer? Propose. No objection.
I'm sorry, can I ask Roger? I mean, if you've got an objection, what is the planning objection? Is it because planning objections and it could look like a house, isn't one? Is it? It needs to
No,
be
the
something
planning,
or something specific.
Sorry, Paul. If you wanted to be more specific, the planning objection is that this is not zoned for housing, and this is a house.
Use class C1.
So shall I propose an objection on those grounds and see if anyone wants to second and vote for?
Well, you're making. Okay.
I was just going to say, do we have a right to say whether someone can have a guest on their property, and if they were to sleep in a sleeping bag in that glamping pod or whatever, then it's their land and their prerogative. I've put down here objection because it's a personal preference, but technically, I don't think we can actually object that they could actually use it as a glamping pod if they don't make any amendments to the current situation.
I don't think anyone's objecting to that. I guess if somebody wants to sleep overnight in what's there at the moment, that's fine. It's the movement from that to a house that's the issue.
And on those grounds, you are making an objection to this application.
Yes.
Do you have a seconder?
I don't know.
David, anyone in favour of that?
Yes. We will vote on it.
So you're voting on objection.
Okay, so vote please on that objection. Hands up.
Put your hands up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
So those against.
And those against.
That's the objections gone through then.
Just summarize. Yeah. So basically, just to be clear, we will be putting in an objection that this is one step too far, and it looks too much like a house, and that's what the committee has decided by a vote of 5-3.
Yeah, sorry, just 1 second. If you want that recorded as 5-3, just let the clerk know, and we can make sure that North Somerset know that we weren't 100% on it.
Yeah, I mean, we may as well as we. Yeah.
And the objection just reads objection that the site's not zoned for housing. Okay. Yeah, it's simple.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that's drawn a line under that.
Excuse me, Mike, can I just ask, are we allowed to object on the impact of wildlife or not?
Well, we're discussing this planning application, which doesn't mention anything particularly other than bird watching.
That's my concern.
Well, so you raised, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
David.
Sorry to drag it on. I think we should mention this in our neighbourhood plan. This is a designated local wildlife site / nature reserve. It's flagged as such on the maps of the area.
Yeah, thank you.
And I think that's an important consideration. And I'm sorry, this isn't in your favour, but I think you've done some fantastic work there otherwise, and wouldn't want to denigrate that at all.
Can't share it with other people. It doesn't mean you can't share. Still share. Oh yeah, we will share with family and friends anyway. Obviously, there's not any money.
Okay, councillors. 8:30 already. We must move on. Are there any other? No. So.
Go back to start the agenda.
And I'm sorry, Graham Franklin in 51 the paddock. I was told there was a covenant on that plot of land by the church, never to be built on.
Piece above.
Councillors, we're going to move on now to the agenda as you have in front of you. So, application 1690, 16 Greenfield Park, demolition of the existing porch and proposed erection of a replacement front porch extension with new front entrance door. Any comments on that? I propose no objection.
16 Greenfield Park. Yeah.
Is that seconded?
Marianne's not yet. Can I go and shut the door?
Yes, please.
Yes, the 1690.
No objection. Seconded by Paul. Or please show.
Okay.
Carried. 1701 259 East Cliff. proposed installation of a south-facing first floor balcony with obscure glazing balustrade and new French doors to provide private external amenity space for the dwelling. Okay.
Had a look.
No
Comments?
objection.
Did have a look at this on one of my walks over the weekend. Cannot see a problem with that at all. There are balconies to the other side the marina. It's not overlooking anybody. Can't see a problem with it.
Thank you, Roger.
Yeah, on this one, I put myself down as a possible objection, because I just wanted to raise whether or not there was something in the neighbourhood plan about maintaining the unique features in areas of Portishead, because I know there's a number of people online who've stated that this was purposely built without balconies on it, and how true that is, I don't know. But it was mentioned.
There's nothing in the neighbourhood plan specifically about the fishing village.
Oh, well,
in its uniqueness, but
David, yeah.
Just two things. Just to note that there were 2 objections on line 7, supporting comments. When I last looked, I was on the walk with Martin and we looked at it and we felt it was fine within the eye shot of where this is proposed to be. You can see other balconies, so it seems fine to me.
Are there any comments online in relation to this or any other planning application? Right. So I take it that one of you would like to propose no objection. Seconded by David and Martin. Yeah, okay. No objection. Abstention or no object? Object. One objection carried.
Abstention.
Yes, yeah.
Moving on then, 1761, 7 Charlton View. This is just a small amendment to the planning application of the original one to switch the position of the kitchen window. Any comments? The house is already up and pretty well finished, yeah.
It's the one you've got an interest in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know the applicant, but
yeah.
Does anyone have any comments?
So second that.
No objection, thank you.
And mark you as an abstainer.
Yes, I abstained, yes. 1764, 50 Badger Rise, proposed erection of a detached annex outbuilding to the rear of the dwelling. Bit of an issue on this one, I think, insofar as the applicant has put in a garden room, which is at the apex of the ridge, 3.5 meters above ground level. And it therefore, I think, falls into the difficult area of the 2.5 meter gap between the adjoining property, because I'm not sure the plans show exactly where it is in terms of the distance between the proposed building and the boundary. Comments from
I agree with your concern, Mike. I thought from the plans it looked quite close to the neighbouring boundary, but I think either way it's above the critical height.
Mm-hmm. So we think that we object to this on the grounds that it's too high for the proposed position in relation to the 2.5 boundary rule.
Yep.
Okay. Proposed, seconded. All in favour of that? Objection then. 11 Drake's Way. So yes, having got them mixed up before. Any comments again? Building in the garden, tucked up into the left-hand corner of the L, and it's flat roofed, and it's 2 meters high, I think, or 2.5.
Looks fine to me.
We all right about that one?
Yeah, sorry, there's not very much information. This is that you have the
lots of information. 2.25 high.
There were, all I found online was one document that didn't show a roof. So do we have a document that shows a roof?
Flat roofed.
So it is flat roofed.
I assume so.
Yeah.
Or they'll have a small degree of slope.
This is one. They're not applying for planning permission, are they? They're applying for a lawful development certificate.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a little adjournment? I think you maybe need to adjourn for 5 minutes.
Carry on. I'll just ignore me.
What's going on?
Go.
Oh. Do you want a glass of water, Martin?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Shout if you need anything. Yeah, please. Don't go being all brave on us. Yeah. So yeah, they're not applying for planning permission, are they? They're applying for
certificate of lawful development for the erection of a detached outbuilding to the east of the site. Yeah.
Exactly. So to that end, we have to be careful that it falls within the relevant rules for that. And I was unsure to start with as to how high the roof was, because it was just a box. It was all that was in the plan. But if we're certain that it's a flat roof on it, then that's it. And it has to be no more than 50% of the garden. But I couldn't find any document that showed where its location in the garden even.
So that's quite a long way away.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen that one. So yeah, that would seem to fit quite nicely. So okay. I can drop my objection in that case.
Okay. So would you like to propose no objection?
I will propose no objection.
Right. Okay. All in favour of no objection? Unanimous. Thank you. The next one's TPO. Does anyone have any comments in relation to that one? 82 Nor Road? No. Moving on then, 1760, full application, 55 Hillside Road. Proposed addition of a new first floor, so this is going up a story. Relocation of the existing front entrance to the lower ground floor, etc., etc. This has been approved. It was approved a month or so ago, but they have come forward with amendments to change the design of it in terms of the aesthetic of the building materials and so on. Quite different from the previous application in its more contemporary look, and personally I don't have an objection to it, so I'm happy to propose no objection. You seconded? All carried?
Okay.
Okay, right. If you want to look at the difference between the two there here.
I seem to recall we might have mentioned with the first plan that we thought that it could have looked better, and now it does.
Good point. Right, thank you. Next one's a TRCA, 4 Clarence Gardens, Leylandii, good riddance to it.
Can I just, on that one, I don't understand why there's a tree preservation order on a Leylandii.
No, is it not just because it's in a conservation area?
I don't. But there's no reason. There's no reason within there, and it says if it's subject to a TPO, there has to be a reason for cutting it down, and there isn't a reason. That was all.
It's a Leylandii.
Well, that sounds like a good reason, but
no objection.
Objection, definitely yes. Okay, next then is 1844.
Do you want to make any comment, or you're just going to make no comment?
We could just mention there's no reason in it, couldn't we?
Could do.
And just, I'm sure they'll pick it up
No
at North
objection, but
Somerset anyway.
there appears to be no reason for the felling.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to vote on that?
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
No one loved those trees.
Right. So we've done the paddock. 1844 AOC requested discharge condition 3 on the application of 4A Woodside Gardens. You okay about that one? No objections? Right. 1845, application at Redcliffe Close, number 6, demolition of the existing conservatory and proposed erection of a single-storey rear extension, partial raising of the roof over the integrated garage, alterations to the existing window and door openings to include a Juliet balcony at the first floor, rear dormer, and associated internal and external alterations. Right, any comments on that one? No, no objection. Yeah, I think it's very reasonable. Right, proposed, no objection, seconded by Roger, all in favour of no objection. Good. 54 conference, 1497, demolition of the existing single-storey rear extension and proposed erection of a replacement two-storey rear extension. Any comments? Yeah. No objection. No objection. Proposed, seconded by Martin. No objection throughout. Bob? Nope. 1787, 14 Gateway Terrace. This is LDP. Certificate of Lawful Development for the proposed renting out of the existing dwelling for short-term holiday lets for no more than 90 days per year with no physical alterations to the property.
I'm just surprised that's a planning application, really.
To turn it into an Airbnb?
Yeah, she's not making no alterations or anything. How does that impact on us?
Right. Yeah, David. Oh,
I actually checked like the guidelines on this, and outside of London, there's no limitation of 90 days. So in Portishead, we don't have a limitation of 90 days anyway.
So no objection? Unanimous. Okay. 1853, 111 Nor Road, demolition of the existing conservatory and extensions and proposed erection of a new two-storey side extension with front base facing balcony, single-storey rear extension with rear facing balcony, and a loft extension including raising the ridge height and front and rear dormer extensions. It is here. You want to look at it. It's a fairly large change from the existing property. Any comments? I have no particular objection to this. It's tucked away in the site. Yeah, lots.
Big change, but it's out of the way, isn't it?
This area in particular has a lot of the type of changes. I feel it may be churlish for us to try and stop now when almost everybody else has done it.
Who's proposing no objection? David, seconded. Paul, all of it. Okay. Yeah, all of it. Right. 11 Hillcrest, 1869, demolition of the existing single-storey front extension and increase the size of the house. Now, this came forward a couple of months ago, and at which point we rejected it on the grounds that it wasn't in keeping with the street scene and it was a little too contemporary for its site. They've amended that and come forward with something that was much more acceptable. That was the existing one.
What's it?
Do you remember that one?
Federal property. Is that the change that, or we?
Well, I think it's changed inside. I don't have the plans in front of me.
From 2 to 4 to 5 bedrooms.
I have no objection. I think this is a much improved. Supportive comments online. No objections online. I propose no objection. Seconded, Paul. All in favour, no objection.
I'm just going to abstain.
Okay.
David,
David, did you object or?
No, I was just noting that it's gone from a 2-bedroom house to a 4 to 5-bedroom house. It's just another signal of us losing our stock of 2-bedroom houses. But I think in terms of plan, so from the neighbourhood plan perspective, we could object. I think from the building itself, from its aesthetics, I think we have to accept.
On thin ice on that one. Yeah. Yeah.
Did David want to abstain as well? I didn't see his hand go up.
You'll vote for. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just being awkward because it's going from 2 to 4 or 5 bedrooms against our plan.
Well, they have been overturned in the past, so it's on thin ice on that particular application.
We could just note the clause from our neighbourhood plan, of course.
I've noted.
We will note it.
I was going to say I'm quite happy to propose that.
The observations are I also include your little discussion you have. Yes. So that will be included as a loss of 2-bed stock.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Good evening, all.
Oh.
Sorry. My name's Alex Kite. I'm the owner of 11 Hillcrest Road. I'm just online here. Apologies for jumping in like this. I just wanted to make a note. It wasn't actually a 2-bed property. It's a 3-bed when we bought it. So there's an upstairs bedroom and 2 downstairs bedrooms. So I'm not sure why it's stated as a 2-bed. We purchased it as a 3 and changed it into a 4. Just for your awareness.
Thanks. Okay, thanks for that, Alex. Yeah, and yeah, it's good that you've amended the plans.
Yeah, we're a young family, so we're looking forward to hopefully getting started and moving in.
Good. Good luck.
Thanks.
Okay, moving on. 1909, 73 Woodacre, proposed erection of single-story rear extension. Any comments on that one? Any proposer for no objection? David, seconded by Bob, or carried in favour. 1924 Howham Farm. This is a barn they want to put up. I don't know that it can be refused for agricultural use, can it? I mean, it's huge, absolutely huge.
It is a big one, isn't it?
Yes, enormous.
Well, it's agriculture. It's out of the way, isn't it?
As you know, they put their new route in. But yeah, you could have concerts in there. But well, as I said, I don't think we can object to this. Is that correct, Peter?
I don't think it's a problem.
No.
I don't think you can validly object.
Yeah, that's right. I thought. Okay.
And it is one of the few working farms.
Yeah, exactly. What I know is a working farm.
Mm-hmm.
Huge working farm.
Yeah,
Proposed no objection, seconded by loads of you. Okay, no objection. Thank you. Right, the late applications. One is a TPO up in the knoll. That's a willow, which is relatively small, and replacing it with a weeping birch because they felt that it was the wrong, inappropriate tree to have been given. No comments. Right. It's an yeah. The other two, 1849, 130 Merlin Park, proposed partial conversion and front extension to the existing garage and erection of a first floor side extension above. Are we happy to put this one to the test and discussion if necessary?
I just wanted to say that it looks to me like it's a 2-bedroom property going to a 5-bed. So do we want to discuss that now? Do we want to? It's a late one. Do we want to think about it and knock it off till next meeting? Can
we just clarify that, because it is showing one of the rooms as an office, isn't it? In both sets of plans, the proposal and the existing. So technically, I think it's not from 2 to 5; it's from 3 to 5.
So are you saying the office is a bedroom?
Well, I mean, it probably was built as a bedroom, wasn't it?
And this is the problem. We have studies and offices, don't we, on plans, and nobody knows if they were ever designed to be bedrooms or not. And so if it was designed to be a bedroom, I'd have thought they'd have put bedroom on their plan when they put it in, and that would immediately bat away me going, oh, what about the neighbourhood plan? But they don't. They put office, and so it triggers me every time. So what do we do if it doesn't say bedroom? I'm just gonna go off every time.
Well, I think on the proposed, it's got office as well, isn't it? So again, it's a swap, isn't it, from one to the other? I mean, the precedence has already been set up on Merlin on the estate. So again, well, I've certainly recalled that we did one a few months ago, a year ago. I don't have an issue with this. I mean, yeah. I think so.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we know.
Post no objection.
Because of the neighbourhood plan, I'm happy with that. Yeah, which you're going to know anyway.
Are there any further comments?
Could you?
David, are you making comments?
I'd make use.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd support this with those concerns, but I think when we come to, if there are going to be big new developments in Portishead in coming years, we need to look at the 2-bedroomed houses and 1-bedroomed houses and need to make sure they are built in such a style that doesn't facilitate forever extending them, because otherwise we're just going to see our stock of 2- and 1-bedroom houses forever being bought by developers, and I'm not saying this is the case here, but extended and
probably losing 20 every year, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we do have the neighbourhood plan up for review soon. So I'm just saying it now because we should maybe think on as to whether or not we want to soften the approach on this after the review, or if we want to harden the approach on this one. But for me, I think we want to maintain as many small properties as possible in Portishead.
But inevitably, like a lot of families growing, it's extensions to their properties are very much the norm in this day and age.
It's more with the new, any new builds coming in. It's got to be the right portion of smaller properties because we're losing gradually all the smaller ones and they're not being replaced. So.
Especially in this sort of area, Merlin, where the catchment for Highdown and such like, it's important for parents. So you've moved no objection, Mariam, seconded. All in favour of no objection? The abstention?
Abstain.
Okay. And then a loft conversion at 133 Heron, 1939 LDP. I have no issue.
Now, this is a 2-bedroom, creating a loft to be a 3rd bedroom.
That's a good use of space.
That's 2 to 3, though, isn't it? Rather than 2 to 5.
And Velux, isn't it? I propose no objection. Seconded Paul, no objection throughout.
If it comes under lawful development, there really is nothing we can do there.
Yeah, true. Right, library consultation. David, I know that you've dealt with this along with Jenny, and I think the conclusion was that the response was to accept, in Portishead's case, the option A, which was just lopping off a couple of half-hour sessions. You raised the point about the Saturday session being probably not acceptable under the circumstances of it being a day where a lot of people were using the library.
I raised that to you, Mike, but you said the same thing. Yeah, it seemed like exactly the wrong day of the week to take half an hour.
Yeah. So can we put that down as an amendment then to that option?
So that was preferred option A, yeah?
Preferred option A.
Say so.
Did you have it?
Just going to say who's going to complete the. Okay, great.
So we can just amend it. Sharon, do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we happy to pass on?
Yeah.
No, great. And then we come to some highway improvement schemes, most of which you will know about. The double yellows, which are intended for the Mendip Road estate, dotted around, particularly on corners, which are related to the usual problems with the refuge truck getting around. So any comments on that? I'm sure you probably don't. No. Long overdue, sure. And of course it's showing the double yellows outside Highdown as well, doesn't it? Well, reinstated a bit around. Okay, so that's that one. We got 8.4.
Discuss these.
Do we need to discuss them?
The proposals, recommendation.
We have no objection to any of them, do we?
These improvements are 2 highways.
Recommendation to support the proposal for the introduction of double yellow lines and no parking signs outside the properties of 5 to 6 Blackdown and number 1 Blackdown.
Any vote on that?
Yeah. I believe. Yeah.
Definitely unanimous. So far, 8.4 is the notice of intent road traffic regulation 1984, which relates to.
That's just the road traffic order that's come through. Some bits are included, isn't it? That was something I had earlier.
Okay.
It's just to make read, unless you've got any comments you want to put through about that.
Design to improve road safety at certain areas, which we've just discussed, haven't we? Recommendation to consider the traffic regulation draft order reference, blah, 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 and respond to North Somerset Councils before the 10th of this month.
Support it, yeah?
Yep, right. Yep. Right. So the next bit is in relation to the BSIP plan at Portbury High Street and the bus stop there, which has been amended again. So they've cut back the bus lane to the point where it almost comes up to the bus stop, and instating a new bus lane alongside the bus stop, obviously. They've dropped the current plans for the parking area. Further investigations will take part on that. Other than that, it's sort of fairly similar to the ones that we were asked to comment on. Roger, you can fill us in a bit about the extortionate cost.
So, should we start with the good news, which is of course that the 2+ lane is remaining the 2+ lane, and it's not going to become a bus lane, which was a cause of concern for very many people, including me. And in this plan, they've managed to hive off an extra piece of land to get a little bit of bus lane alongside that, so that the bus can pull in to pick people up, and then it can proceed onto the traffic lights, where it can then go through the traffic lights because there'll be nothing else queued in front of it. So you get the bus priority there. Through the lights, you don't lose any of the amenity that we've got there already. So I think this is a resounding success. As part of the work, it's going to require a little bit of rejigging of the roads around there, which means that after they've been remarked and everything else, they're going to need, well, before they're remarked, they have to be resurfaced after some of the old markings come off, which is where a lot of the cost comes in. They're being resurfaced. On the bright side, that means they're being resurfaced from BSIP money and not from taxpayers' money, or not from council taxpayers' money. So at least North Somerset aren't going to have to pay to have that area resurfaced for around about the next 25 years or so. So I feel it's a win-win. But if you think it's expensive, take a look at the resurfacing of the Portbury 100. That's going to cost an arm and a leg as well. But it needs doing because it's a bit of main road, isn't it?
So I take it that great, we're in favour of this, because they have listened to the public and ourselves and amended things.
I'd like to commend Councillor Hannah Young, actually, who was instrumental in getting the correct proposal through. It wouldn't have happened without her intervention. So,
and I'll take
Councillor
Hannah Young,
the exec member for Highways. She was the person who listened to the sensible objections and yes, made it happen.
And Paul, all credit to you for doing all your bus spotting at that junction and all the time you did.
And it only took 2.5 years.
For those who don't know the anecdote, I did meet Hannah Young. I was going to meet her, and I drove into town, and I hit a pothole on Nor Road. So I had a puncture, so I was late meeting her, and she had to drive me to the location. So I did put in my complaint to North Somerset that it was ironic that I was meeting the head of Highways when I got my car ran into a pothole.
And I believe you told us that the pothole was filled the next day, didn't you?
It was filled 2 hours later.
2 hours. Goodness. Goodness. Right then, councillors. So that concludes the meeting. Our next meeting is on the 5th of November. So lots of fireworks on that night then. Yes, I think we had our fair share tonight.
My apologies for that meeting already. I'll be in London for work on that day.